Hey guys, so that Joker movie, that was pretty good, yeah. Most realistic take on the Joker, but that's not why I'm here to talk. I just wanted to throw that out there because it's a good movie. Supporting very violent movies. Yep, it's who I am as a person. So, Skyward Sword and Smash Brothers, there actually isn't too much here. Yeah, there are a few spirits and trophies and a level, the village Skyloft. But is that truly all there is? Well, there is an assist trophy of Ghirahim. I have this headcanon where some of the assist trophies where they have small move sets were often prototype characters. That would mean that they made a prototype character in an effort to possibly make these characters playable, but it never got off the drawing board, so they just kind of kept the moveset in and made them into an assist trophy. For example, Little Mac. He looked like he had some type of moveset going on in Brawl, and then lo and behold, later on, he was a totally playable character. That's why you Waluigi fans should probably calm down somewhat, because it's not like Waluigi isn't in there. Just saying. But honestly, I personally feel Zelda isn't repped enough with playable characters in Smash Brothers. I mean, we only have 6 characters, and literally half of them are slight variations of Link's gameplay. And one is an altered version of Captain Falcon. It'd be nice to have some more representation on the playable character front, despite the cool playable stages from the series, and perhaps Skyward Sword isn't a bad place to look for a playable character? Yeah, okay, this isn't very likely. I'm not trying to say that Ghirahim is definitely going to get in or anything like that. He's an assist trophy right now in Ultimate as it stands. The odds of him being in the next game as playable are probably slim to none. In fact, the best place for Ghirahim to show up as a playable character was the first game that he showed up as an assist trophy, Wii U and 3DS, which is why I think this was talked about? Perhaps it was the split reactions to Skyward Sword that made him less appealing as a full character at the time. Regardless, this video will look into what it could be like to have Ghirahim as a playable character in Smash Brothers. Just a kind of a casual, fun video, so don't expect like a huge amount of details and this and that. It's a very casual discussion, okay? Okay. Let's get into it, shall we? So before we get into this more, let's talk about Lloyd. When I originally made my prediction list of DLC characters for Smash Ultimate, I'd have had Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia at the #1 spot. The reason I didn't is because I could easily see him making it into Smash Brothers over a Tekken or especially a Soul Calibur character. However, I made that list as unpredictable as I could due to something Reggie said in an interview. Characters you wouldn't think of seeing? Hero from Dragon Quest was more likely to be in Smash Brothers than Cloud was as a Square Enix rep. The only reason Banjo was odd because him and Kazooie are owned by Microsoft, although I think he was on that list. Joker, Piranha Plant, and maybe Terry are the only characters that are kind of unpredictable at the making of this video anyway. Regardless, Lloyd is my main prediction, and there's possible real-world evidence to back this up. After all, his voice actor does have some new work coming his way. Why bring this up on a Ghirahim video, though? Well, they both have dual swords as their standard attacks. Both characters could use dual swords in a unique way to be spacers in matches with multiple foes. Ghirahim could also use some dancing techniques if Lloyd's fighting style couldn't be used as inspiration. The reason I bring up Lloyd for DLC is because if he was DLC and for some reason Bandai Namco pulled support from Smash Brothers, Ghirahim could be somewhat close to that character, being the biggest chance we'll actually see him playable at this point. Regardless, Ghirahim could be awesome as he could be really good both offensively and defensively with dual blades, which is kind of how he fights in Skyward Sword. Ghirahim would also be fast and have dark magic effects, much like Ganondorf has. Not many characters have this effect, so that'd be kind of fun. As for specific attacks, most of what I came up with is actually slightly original. There isn't much on Skyward Sword outside of some slashes, and Hyrule Warriors would be slightly better, but I don't have that on the Switch yet. Realistically, when Ghirahim would attack people, I could imagine something similar to Corrin, actually, where he attacks both front and back, making him, again, a bit more defensive and good at multiple characters at once. That way he doesn't get ganged up on. And, I kind of imagine the same for Lloyd, too. I've never actually played Tales of Symphonia, believe it or not, despite me being like, yeah, Lloyd, Smash, cool. His smash attacks, however, I do have some more ideas. He uses a large blade in his final battle with Link in Skyward Sword. While he could also use this while blocking, I think this would be a very effective way to have him using this thing as most of his smash attacks, borrowing a bit from Ganondorf, if you will. While most of his attacks are fast, these smash attacks could be slow and powerful. Maybe not as much as Ganondorf's attacks, but more powerful than most speed fighters, maybe? Oh well. Last but not least, let's go over his special attacks. Standard B would easily be him summoning the flying knives. Press again, you shoot forward. If you walk with them, they could shield Ghirahim from attacks and do little damage if a foe runs into them before he shoots them. Side B would be simply his teleportation. Ghirahim could combo directly out of this, and this could help him get back into a platform as a recovery move. Up B would be his Dark Master Sword attack. I'm not really sure what you'd call this, but basically the idea is that Ghirahim would have a move where he turns into Demise's sword and flies into the air while spinning. He then slams onto the ground with an electrical shockwave or something to that effect. This is kind of original, but it's more or less to reference his actual origin story. This move could also probably be controlled by the player, and while a more offensive move could be used as recovery as well, that's just kind of my idea of what could be used. Last, his down B move would probably be a counter. I know there are a lot of counters, and I hate countering myself, but Ghirahim does kind of make sense with this one. You do a physical attack, and he grabs your character with 2 fingers and holds them for a second, then drops them while doing a teleportation slash. I figure it would only work on physical attacks, so maybe long distance or special attacks wouldn't necessarily have the same effect. As for Final Smash, probably summoning his Master Demise. I know a lot of people would want to see a Demise Echo for Ganondorf, which wouldn't exactly be bad, but I think he'd really work here too. Ghirahim would shoot Demise's sword out of his chest, launching it forward. Anyone caught in the initial hit will see a cutscene. The cutscene sees the victim land in Demise's arena in Skyward Sword while Demise catches the blade. He charges a lightning strike and shoots it out, catching the foes and raking up the damage. After enough damage is dealt, he launches forward and swings his sword, either launching them off the arena for a KO or launching them back into the arena if the move doesn't KO. So last but not least, let's talk about some of the cosmetics. You're probably wondering how I'd handle Ghirahim's 2 or 3 different forms in the game. Well, I looked at the forms and honestly, they aren't that much different from each other. Regular Ghirahim and fully awoken Ghirahim could simply be color swaps. We could see maybe giving him one for Fi too, since she's also a sword spirit who, yeah, we don't actually see her fight. That's mostly why I picked Ghirahim over Fi, or even Groose. Still, a few colors for them on Ghirahim would probably help. A reference to Groose real quick, a reference to Fi. It'd be kind of fun. Maybe one for Demise if he isn't picked as a future Echo character for Ganondorf. As for his cape, he can simply show up at the start of the match and with it on and then take it off like he does in the game when, he's ready to actually fight. As well as him summoning his sword while he's taking his cape off. I think that'd be kind of fun. Taunting would show off his tongue, dance like an idiot, and laugh while pointing, the most evil taunt there is. If he doesn't just adopt Skyloft as his main stage, perhaps he could have a stage around the Sealing Grounds, where, you're up there with all the tracks that Groose placed, and his catapult would fly by while Groose himself faces off against Demise. Hazards would include Groose running you over, bomb shot towards you when Groose is on the other side of the track, and Demise climbing up from the bottom of the place, given it's his imprisoned form and not, you know, regular Demise that you see at the end of Skyward Sword. Unlike Elden Bridge, however, this could include the entrance to the nearby temple too, so you can hop underneath Groose's track for some more platforms or destructible ones that Demise can break. You could probably attack Demise in his hands like a boss fight, similar to the Mega Man Yellow Devil, as well as maybe the pillar on his head for extra damage. This way he stops attacking you with dark shockwaves. Totally good boss fight material. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Ghirahim and him possibly being in Smash, past or future. This is just for fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, I do reviews on games, normally including a video on Skyward Sword I did last week. Just saying, it's probably right over there. YouTube should be showing you that soon. While I wrap up by encouraging you to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and again explaining that you should be seeing Sauron Takes on Demise, the review for Skyward Sword, as well as another video of mine YouTube thinks you'd like to see. Until next time, take care, my minions.